right, good morning. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. Welcome everybody. You guys want to grab your snack packs and your Happy Meals? Let's get this thing started. So without further ado, we're going to go into the skies, what we got going on over the states right now. Current number of mil aircraft up, at least showing milcraft up, are going to be 267. So we're just slightly higher than normal uptick. It's only 9 a.m. in the morning, so this could be a productive day. Normally don't see 270 this early. Like we still got some activity going on over here on the West Coast as well. So I'm going to look closely down at the DC area right now. And just going to show you, notice a couple things rolling out this morning. And for those that aren't familiar with this software, this persistence mode, what I do is I will hit this P button right here if I see an aircraft on my screen that's interesting, because it keeps it. It'll actually hold it and track it and continue to track it. Now, when I clear that P button, it clears everything that I was using. It's called persistence, and it's a useful tool. So if you see something that you don't want to lose sight of, hit that P button and it'll keep it on your screen. So looking like we got a lot of SAM flights, SAM activities rolling out of Washington, D.C. this morning. So we've got one here that looks to be going southbound. Another one here, SAM 360, that's rolling out of D.C. southbound. And we've got a trailer right behind it. There's a little G5 SAM 387 rolling out of D.C. And so everybody seems to be heading south. But this Reach aircraft right here, two of them, looks like we got also heading out. So I don't know where they're going. We'll keep an eye on them. But sometimes coming out of DC, when you see these Reaches and you got some SAMs in tow, these will carry your motorcade and things like that. So just kind of a, data point, something to watch for. But looks like we got a lot of heavies up. We've got another Reach, looks like filling out of the U.S. And let's go look at California real fast, just to get down into what we're seeing here. I normally don't see California active this early in the morning, so kind of cool and unusual. But now these are ground. These are all aircraft on the ground. Looks like we've got a bunch of stuff down here south of Tucson. So a couple C-130s still grounding, and H-60s. Look like we've got activity going on just north of Tucson. That one's good. Same thing. So a little EC-45. So look pretty busy this morning out here on the West Coast. The C-5 and Scottsdale. Let's see if this one's doing. It looks like it's coming out of the same area. So busy activity in Arizona. And out here towards the desert, let's go towards San Diego. I'm going to look at the water here in a little bit as well, just to show you guys what's going on. I don't see too much marine activity happening this morning. It looks like our exercise is over. But 60 activity in Long Beach, or H60 activity in San Diego, which is not uncommon. Guys, they may be searching for something out there, or they're just out flying, get some. There's a lot of high-speed dudes in San Diego. They do a lot of training out, so you'll see Ospreys as well. But all right, now there was one. Let me go back over here to DC real fast as I back out. I'm going to show you guys some of the activity here. Sorry. All right, so we got this one that is E2, the one of the little Hawkeyes. Seems to be doing some stuff around the mouth here. And then I had an H60 was actually running through. Here he is right here. And so this H60 seems to be doing some patterns too. Just don't know what they're doing, but an eye on that stuff. It's always neat to see this stuff here. We get a lot of search stuff around this mouth area, so it's not totally uncommon, but data point. And lastly, we have let's see if it went away. So I've been seeing a lot of Spanish traffic. One of them right. That's Netherlands. And so it looks like we have Netherlands now bugging out of our our TER location, the Terceira Island. And so, just interesting. So we've been watching some Spanish planes come out of here and going down to Dominican Republic, which is one of our thought to be black sites. And so for those of you that are just kind of getting on board with all of this, I'll show you, just to give you a quick down and dirty, the colors here. So it looks like Fruity Pebbles on the screen. These colors are altitudes. You guys see the altitude bar down here sliding? And so you guys can see these things that are all blue. These are high altitude flights, so they're probably heading somewhere long range in most cases. So just and the ones that are orange or gray, if you got a gray bird, then those are, I see I lost all my stuff on hit. When you hit the gray birds, then those are on ground. So sometimes you'll see them even black. So, but that right there we're tracking right now is a Joint Star, E8 Joint Star. That looks like it's running up and down the coast of Florida. You're off of the end of Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico area. So now yesterday was interesting. We had an R-135 that was out here off the coast of Florida doing a lot of stuff. So not sure what's coming, what's going on in terms of that, but a lot of search activity with the electronic suite along this coast here down towards Trump's home area. So kind of keep an eye on that. So without further ado, let's go dig into the aircraft that we've been keeping an eye on. Now, yesterday we were looking at the spa, and we had this aircraft roll in. This is a Medbird, and so that came into Guantanamo Bay yesterday afternoon. Let's see here. And so that was about 4:30 in the afternoon. Now, it came out of Gwinnett County, went to Fort Lauderdale, over to Guantanamo Bay, and then back over Lauderdale and up to Gwinnett County. So my question at first was, well, why didn't this thing just go VFR direct to Guantanamo Bay from up here in Gwinnett County, which is just north of the Metroplex in Atlanta? It's definitely got the range on it, but you know, kind of sleeping on it, thinking about it, I think what probably happened is you've got medical crew. They probably picked up somebody and then brought them back. So you usually have to have, you know, a doctor or somebody on board that, you know, or nurse, flight nurse, medic, whatever, on board with them to keep them stabilized coming out of spa back to. So that could just be it. So, you know, it seems we get a lot of people getting flown off the island in Guantanamo Bay, which is all right. So next, let's see here. We're gonna go take a look at our N331CK, which is bird. So, and looks like that thing's got on the dockets heading back down to Dominican Republic this morning, and that's been on kind of a regular round robin since just after the election, so going back and forth. So, but what's interesting is the other aircraft that were doing it as well are not doing that. They've kind of focused their attention on other locations. And so just kind of back up. This is going to be kind of a slow run, but I'll talk to it while it's going through. Okay, yeah, I don't know why my audio keeps cutting out, but maybe my head is turning. So try and keep focused on that. But okay. So for those that aren't aware, as you guys have been following me, there's a handful of locations that we want to watch. Okay, one of them is Terceira Island, Iceland is the other, and the spa, which is Guantanamo Bay, and then XPL Honduras. Those are places and locations that I believe are prison locations. Okay, and so those are ones that we've been keeping an eye on. Now, I started watching recently the flights going up to Greenland, and so we'll just kind of pop that on real fast. Now, these two were 757-200s, cargo jets that were seen. They come out of Washington, D.C. and go up to Greenland. Now, I will tell you that one of my buddies looked this stuff up, looked up the history on these aircraft for the last 30 days, and that is a regular run. So the whole theory of these being prison birds going to Greenland is definitely out the door. I don't believe that's happening because just it looks like it's just regular supply runs. So just kind of, we'll keep an eye on Greenland, but I know everybody, we've been talking about the Project Iceworm and Greenland being a potential prison location, and I don't want to rule it out, but at the same time, I'm not seeing the supporting flight data that goes along with that unless we have something out of tempo, out of sequence pop in. So we'll keep an eye on that, but right now, that is just, we're going to just kind of keep that as a theory until we start seeing activity like we've seen at those other locations that I just showed you guys, okay? All right, so this is the DOJ bird, one of them, N721AL. And so last thing, this is about 4 days ago. It was in Colorado, okay? Hasn't changed. It actually went to Colorado back to Manassas. And so it's back in D.C. So haven't seen any action out of that in the last 4 days. So that tells me maybe this all of this electoral stuff is wrapping up in terms of their investigation and stuff, okay? Now, also, it looks like the black sites are kind of ramping down with the exception of that one flight that has a regular tempo going back and forth. And so we'll keep an eye on that one. But again, I was saying these other aircraft that we were watching originally go back and forth. We're heading to, are now heading up to Terceira and Iceland. And I'm seeing other countries starting to support that where they're actually going into that same location. So that where we think there may be prisons may not be a bad theory, okay? Now, from the Phoenix birds, the one that I'm watching that really everything else seems to have gone back to RTB, right? Return to base. And they're probably undergoing maintenance, light maintenance, or being, they're just not being utilized. So they're certainly not flying because I'm watching the tail numbers. So they are inactive at the moment. So this one, N163PA, is currently en route from, it looks like coming out of Africa. And it is, now I don't know where this is going, and I'm looking at it. It doesn't have an arrival location yet. It just says that it's coming out of, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but I don't know what that is. But it is headed to unknown. But I will tell you that on the docket for tomorrow, this aircraft ends up back in our Terceira Island location, so which is the Azores, okay? And then it's going from there to Washington, D.C. So looks to me like this one has been doing a lot of stuff down here. It went to Sierra Leone and some of the other areas in Africa. So we've got some activity hopping out of the continent of Africa, which is kind of interesting. Now, Terceira is, I think, it's in this area right here. So it's going to come from wherever this is right now. We'll track it and I'll post it later to see where it landed. But it's going to go from out of here back up here to this area. Okay, and so we'll keep an eye on that. Now let's talk about Barr in a 622. Now this was his aircraft. Not anymore. Like somebody has taken the keys from his jet, and it's interesting. So the last flight this one went to was down to Middle Georgia, which was Macon, I think, and hasn't come out. So it's still down there. So I don't know if the new guy that's his location, and they pre-positioned the jet for his departure, right? So maybe he's going to use that to exfil wherever he's going, or but unlikely unless Barr is from there and they've just flown him down and parked it in next assignment yet. No flight plan has been filed, so looks like that aircraft is still sitting down. So, all right, and so we looked at Thule, and again, there's no new activity going on there. This is just from the other last Thursday and Friday, and so nothing there, and that's Greenland. So, all right, now over to the marine traffic. I just want to look at this with you guys for a second. So we had an exercise going on, earlier in the week, and that looks like it has ramped down. The only thing I see now in the San Diego area is this one warship that is sitting, and we'll take a look at that. It's not, nope, not going to give me a picture. All right, so, but this one is sitting. It doesn't look like it is en route to anywhere, so it just kind of it says it's underway using engine, but we don't have any history on that. But if I go up the coast here, I'm not seeing really anything from San Diego, right? The San Diego area as I go up. And it's not uncommon to see a warship sitting here, but you know, a couple days ago we had several. And so now it's just looking as I go up the coast, I'm not really seeing anything. So that tells me these other boats have already bugged out and are probably out to sea. Now, not uncommon, like I said before, when they're sitting in here, they typically do broadcast because they want to be seen to make sure they're being nobody collide with them. And if they're undergoing maintenance or something, so there's nothing to see here, right? But when they start heading out into open waters, they will stop broadcasting because the enemy or anybody else know their locations. And so the reason for that is because if you can, just like we do with aircraft, if you can look at the type of ship and you have a heading on it, you know what the average cruise speed is, you can determine when and where that thing's going to arrive, and you can just track it based on that, right? It gives you kind of an algorithm of you know, range and direction, and so they know to look for those. And you know, that's why we don't like to broadcast, why you don't see subs, things of that interest. So let me back out of this. We're going to go to East Coast, then we'll go down to Guantanamo Bay, and Virginia Beach looks like there's one there. And so Naval Patrol, so that's a carrier. Looks like we have the USS Jacksonville there. We've got going a picture for that guy. So not uncommon. I mean, this is kind of a hot area, right, for naval activity, all the way up the coast here. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's, you know, cause for alarm. So now let's go back to that. Just thinking what I'm just showing you. Okay, I think if we were under attack, you'd have a bunch of boats out here. So I think what somehow somebody's been pumping a bunch of disinfo out there about, you know, being attacked by the Chinese. So I just don't think that's going to say that. But all right, let's look at Guantanamo Bay specifically here. Okay, so got the port. Show that on the map. See if we've got anything in port at Guantanamo Bay. Looking like it looks like this place is empty right now. Nothing sitting in. So, all right. That where we have it right now. So got some P3s flying out of Jacksonville. P8's doing some activity off of Jacksonville. Pretty common. Not uncommon, should I say. Another P8 right there. Looks like he's cruising the coast. At East Coast, for some reason right now, seems to be a hot spot. And all the way from down here in South Florida to, you know, all the way up the coast. It's just kind of an interesting deal. So we'll just keep our eye. Like I said, there's a P8. We got another P8 here, P8 there, P3 here. So P3s are sub-chasers. And so now we've got the SAM 387 rolling out of DC. Looks like it's headed southbound. That may be heading down here to Rupp's location. And another SAM flight. Looks like it's also taking the same kind of trajectory. So we'll see what happens, man. I just feel like maybe, you know, all of this activity over here seems to be, that definitely has picked up. I don't normally see too much of that going on day after day. Not uncommon for the Navy to fly out of Jacksonville and do those routes. So, but same time, seems like the activity has picked up there a little bit. So, all right, folks. So listen, that's all I have this morning. I'm going to keep my eye on Guantanamo Bay. Again, all we had was that one med flight come in yesterday. And it looks like we've got some activity coming and going out of Africa and the Netherlands to Terra Sierra, which is our watch island. I think maybe another prison. Not seeing anything out of Iceland, but we'll keep our eyes open and eyes peeled. Stay frosty out there because intel from multiple locations, even Code Monkeys, talking about some things going down. So, and if you guys don't know who Code Monkey is, he used to be run actually 8chan, 8kun, and so he's broadcasting some stuff as well about potential emergency events going on. So just keep that in mind. Stay frosty. You guys have a plan, and that's it. God bless. We'll talk soon. Monkey out.